Dave Madsen Films Inc. presents The Adventures of Microsoft Sam and His Friends. Episode 6.5, Another Day in Court, Abridged Director's Cut. This episode takes place during the events of Looney Tunes Intro Bloopers 32, The Return of Leonard Imperfect. Having been accused of lying about tantrums, Microsoft Sam and Radar Overseer Scotty were summoned to testify in court, thus the reason for their absence in the beginning. We now head over to the city courthouse for the commencement of Sam and Scotty's trial.
Oh yes, the court is now in session. The Honorable Judge M.L. Fairley presiding.
Bring on the case.
Dave Madsen Films Inc. vs. Alchemistmuffin.
Will the defendants, Microsoft Sam and Radar Overseer Scotty, approach the bench?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are expecting great importance with this case.
This case is indeed of great importance. Read the charges, please.
Microsoft Sam and Radar Overseer Scotty, you two, are hereby charged of lying about tantrums causing a spike in energy bills.
Sam and Scotty, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Thank you, Sam and Scotty. You two may stand down now.
Much obliged, Your Honor.
I sure wish Ann and Beulah were here to pull for us.
Worry not, Scotty. After all, you and Sam have me to pull for you.
Thanks, Dave.
No matter what charges are brought against us respectively, no jury in the world could possibly convict us.
Does the prosecution care to call any witnesses?
The prosecution calls the Vicom V of Doom, the Scream Gems S from Hell, the V backwards and V mask of Dwarf Xiang and the Klasky-Csupo robot to the stand.
I object. What do scary logos have to do with this case?
Overruled. So, V of Doom, S from Hell, Mask of Dwarf Xiang and Klasky-Csupo robot, I'm sure you are all familiar with the defendants. All too well, Your Honor.
Even in a court of law we can't stand clear of you scary logos.
Why are you witnesses anyway?
The answer is quite clear.
Yes, it is. Clear as mud.
Hey. Order. Continue.
Anyway, we were called up here because alchemistmuffin is sitting this case out, leaving the four of us to speak on his behalf. He can't be bothered to be seen or heard today.
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
The prosecution claims both Sam and Scotty's statements about tantrums are complete fabrications, which we already know to be true.
It's a well-known fact that the act of throwing a tantrum does not cause energy costs to skyrocket.
Big fat liar.
We know alchemistmuffin, and he would never tell a lie.
Huh. As if.
It's not just the tantrums themselves, but the explosions generated by them that make energy bills skyrocket.
It's really the damage the tantrum-induced explosions leave in their wakes that drive energy costs through the roof.
We, alongside the devil and she-devil, learned from reliable sources that
The devil and she-devil? What have they got to do with this case?
silence. As I was saying, we learned from reliable sources that the story about tantrum-induced explosions is irrelevant to this case.
Tantrums do not generate explosions, and therefore Sam and Scotty are guilty of perjury.
We are not.
You are too.
We are not.
You are too.
They are not.
They are too.
Order in the court. Would the defense care to call any witnesses?
Your Honor, we call Dave Madsen to the stand.
Dave Madsen, will you please take the stand?
I will, Your Honor.
And what have you got to say about the charges alchemistmuffin brought against your two employees?
I've actually got a lot to say about them. As a matter of fact, this is the same guy who disputed my claim that too many tantrums could kill you. There is some truth to this whole charade, however. Although there is zero evidence for the explosions generated by tantrums causing energy bills to skyrocket, the explosions themselves have a little mention in the bills provided from energy costs. In order to save on these costs, the power in my studio now shuts down at 9 p.m.
What Dave says is true, Your Honor. Just look at the end of Looney Tunes Intro Bloopers 31, how to screw up a Looney Tunes intro without really trying.
Me and Sam know from experience, because that was the first time Dave Madsen Films Inc. has been under curfew.
Very well. Later, after Judge Fairley watched the episode. Another entertaining video project of yours, Dave.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I do believe we have a clear picture of the events that led to this trial. This court now stands in recess, while I review the case. While Judge ML fairly reviews the case at hand, a word from our sponsor.
I'm Marvin, and I used to strike out with the ladies, because I had bad breath. Now they are drawn like a magnet to me, thanks to Scudzo, the amazing mouthwash that really scrolls your nerd.
I'm Christie, and I used to strike out with the men, because I had bad breath. Now they're drawn like a magnet to me, thanks to Scudzo, the amazing mouthwash that really—
Hey, get out of here. This is my commercial.
No, you get out. This is my commercial.
You can prevent arguments like these by using Scudzo mouthwash. Scrolling nerds, since 1945. We now return you to the city courthouse, where Judge ML Fairley has reviewed the case and the jury has reached a verdict. I have gone over the records of the litigants in this case. Jury, how do you find the defendants, Microsoft Sam and Radar Overseer Scotty?
Not guilty.
Due to a plea bargain, I hereby declare the charges against Scotty to be dropped. However, Sam, for lying about tantrums, I will not be giving you any jail time, but I hereby sentence you to 1,000 hours of community service. Case dismissed. Court adjourned.
Sam, I hereby suspend you from my studio until your community service is complete.
I guess I should have seen this coming.
I suppose there's no arguing with alchemistmuffin's video testimony, eh, Dave?
You're not wrong there, Scotty. Although tantrums are a form of emotional release, if an adult throws a tantrum, it can lead to serious health problems, much like smoking or drinking. The key is moderation and self-control.
I agree with you, Dave, but completely changing the topic, I predict that nothing's going to be the same in the studio without our own Microsoft Sam.
Relax, Scotty. What could possibly go wrong without Sam?
Don't say that, Dave. Anyway, I need to go tell the others the news about the trial. See you around.
This has been a Dave Madsen Films Inc. production.